Welcome to 375th episode. Yes, you heard it right. Folks, I never imagined that I would travel this far. This is another big milestone for the Guiding Voice. And I'm proud to say that there are very few interview-based podcasts across the globe that have reached this milestone. And on this occasion, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to my community of audience, family, friends, patrons, well-wishers, and especially the speakers for supporting me on this journey, which is shaping me and also the careers and lives of millions across the globe. Thank you so much, everyone, and thanks to the universe for giving me everything that I needed to run this show relentlessly. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome Vidyun R Hebbar, a remarkable 12-year-old student from Bangalore, India. Despite his young age, Vidyun is already making waves in the world of photography. Starting at just 3 years old, Vidyun's passion for photography was nurtured by his father. His focus on macro photography, capturing everything from insects to everyday items like onions, showcases his unique perspective. And Vidyun's approach to wildlife photography is equally impressive. He believes that you don't need a forest to capture wildlife. It can be found even in bustling cities. Exploring Bengaluru's gardens and the serene areas near his grandfather's home, Vidyun draws inspiration from his surroundings. His talent has earned him prestigious awards, including Young Wildlife Photographer of the Year and highly commended in WPY 2021, as well as a highly commended award in WPY 2020, presented by the renowned Natural History Museum in London. Influenced by his father, a software engineer and an accomplished wildlife photographer, Vidyun's journey is inspiring and full of potential. Join us in experiencing Vidyun's captivating visual storytelling as he shares his unique perspective. It's great to have him here, and we are excited to embark on this photographic journey together. And as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, here's an exciting twist. Let us tickle the brain of Vidyun first. Vidyun, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
All right, let's dive in. And here comes my first word: curiosity.
The Mars rover.
Invention.
The smartphone.
Future.
Drones.
Book.
My mother.
Movie.
Mission Impossible.
Food.
Pizza.
Place.
Udupi.
Name.
Vidyun.
Animal.
Spiders.
World.
Earth.
Awesome. And thank you so much for participating so sportively and so crisply. Really appreciate it. And folks, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Navin Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life, but also to your career. And thank you so much for tuning in. Vidyun, welcome again to the Guiding Voice. And I'm super thrilled to have you part of this 375th episode. Thank you so much for being part of our journey. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's get started. And here comes my first one. You started clicking at the age of 3. So share with us what made you to start clicking at the age of 3.
Okay, so my father was the category winner of Wildlife Photographer of the Year, Amphibians and Reptiles in 2014. So we had gone to London to get the award. Seeing my father on like such a big stage made me so proud, and like I felt like I wanted to be on that stage and get an award like that. So as soon as we came back from that event, I asked my father to give me his camera so I can try it. And that's why my first photo was of my father.
Wow. I think you have seen the live visualization of your dad picking up the award, and that actually implanted something in your mind and you did it. And really kudos to your dad as well as you. Both of you, congratulations. And Vidyun, how did the journey shape from there on? I think you never looked back.
From when I was like 6 years old, I started learning macro photography from my father. So on weekends or when I had holidays, used to go to parks in our nearby houses, like near our house, to photograph insects, spiders, moths, etc. So I used to learn a lot. And even in the time of COVID, when we had online classes, I used to like wear earphones, listen to my teacher, and take photos.
Awesome. And folks that are listening or watching to this episode, I would like to reiterate Vidyun is the youngest speaker on the Guiding Voice platform so far as of this date. He's just 12-year old. And Vidyun, I would love to learn from you the key skills required for a photographer.
Okay. The first one is patience.
Mhm.
So you have to wait for getting your subject, or wait when you're like going close to it, or wait for it to do a certain behavior. So second one is the ability to use the camera. You have to know the settings or how to properly use the camera to get the best out of it. So if you like don't use your camera properly, even if you have a very good frame, your image might not come good because of your settings. So the third one is the ability to stay stable. So when you're taking the image, you have to always be stable, not to get like blur in your image. You have to like stay still and capture the image. And the fourth one is the ability to spot something. So before you take an image, you have to have something to capture. So you have to spot the subject, whatever it is. You have to find it, and then you have to.
Hmm. Awesome. Now let's take a step back and understand different types of photography. And especially, you may highlight the concept of macro photography, what it is all about.
Okay. So macro photography is like the photography of small things taken from a very close distance. So if you observe the image, the comparison from the real object and the object in the frame is 1:1. So the actual size of the object is same to as it is in real life. But if you compare it to bird photography, where you zoom in a lot, so the bird is way bigger than it is in the. So we have to go close, very very close to our subject to get this 1:1 ratio. That's why, like, whenever I take some of my images, my subjects like butterflies or something, I don't get the shot.
Hmm.
So I am also exploring street photography now. Whenever I go on vacation, I try to capture the street. So there are many types of photography that you can explore within photography. So there's astrophotography, the photography of space and celestial objects. Then there's like underwater photography. There's so many kinds.
Hmm. Awesome. Not only that, you have clarity of thought and clarity of clicking, but you have clarity of everything. And this is what inspires me to bring individuals like you and host on the show so that the world gets inspired. And folks, again, those of you who are really passionate about pursuing passion, here is a dose of inspiration from the world's youngest photographer of the year, Vidyun. So do check out his website also, which will be the link will be available in the show notes or the episode description. With that, Vidun, let's move forward. And you said you capture the images near your grandparents' home, and also, as I've gone through your story, it is evident that you don't feel like, okay, I have to go and visit that particular place, only then I will capture. But you make sure that every place is yours and try to get the best out of it. That is my understanding. So please explain to our audience, like, what is your thought process behind identifying places, and where all do you capture those images?
Okay. So mostly we go for photography around my home. It's in Bangalore. So before Bangalore was called the Silicon City of India, it was called the Garden City of India. So there are tons of gardens around my home and in Bangalore. So we never like run out of places for me to go photography. So in parks, like I like parks mostly to macro photography. We need insects, spiders, moths, etc. So in these parks, since there are like plant many trees and creepers, there'll also be these insects which are present over there. So we go to these parks and capture. And whenever we go to the native, which is in Sringeri, since that is a very dense area, there's also many species that we don't find in Bangalore that we find over there. So
Hmm.
We find our subject anywhere. Since it's spiders and butterflies, they're all over the world. Except in Antarctica.
That's nice. I still remember the video that was displayed when you were interviewed at Zeno conference. And on this note, I would also like to thank the organizers of Zeno, because of whom we were able to connect. And thanks to all the people that have done brilliant work in terms of featuring youngest inspiration in the form of Z Talks, and by inviting Vidyun. And I really appreciate you folks. And Vidun, let's get moving. Here comes my next question. This is more related to the camera or the equipment. So you said you started with your dad's camera, right? And what are you using currently? And which one do you aspire to buy as well?
Okay, I started with my father's old camera, which was a Nikon D5000 with an 85 macro lens. And now I use a Nikon D750, which has a bigger sensor and a 105 macro lens. So there's a little more zoom than the previous one. And I want to buy a Hasselblad camera. So it captures so much more details, and it's a very advanced camera compared to what I'm using.
What will be the price of that camera?
That one, average is like 11 lakhs.
11 lakhs.
Just about it.
Okay. I wish you buy that very soon, and I'm sure universe will conspire to get you that for sure.
Here is a fact, and in the first photo taken on moon was taken using a Hasselblad camera. So Neil Armstrong used this camera to take a photo on the moon, and the reason why it is so important.
Awesome. Got it. All right. Thank you for sharing that as well, Vidyun. Really appreciate it. So now let's switch gears and talk about the role models, right? And also, are there any websites? Okay, are there any websites which inspire you? Talk about your role models and any other sources from where you get this inspiration from.
Okay, so my inspiration person is Vidyun Mukherjee. He is a very respected wildlife photographer who was also a judge at WPY. So he has gone to so many places and he has seen so many species that I feel like I have to see more species than him, or just as much as him. So his photos are absolutely inspiring. So they are so good and they're just magical. So I had the chance to meet him and listen to his talk at Nature in Focus Award. So he talked so well and told about his experiences that I also wanted to do the same things as him, if not more than him. So, and Ganesh H. Shankar, who is a internationally acclaimed wildlife photographer, who takes images in a very different perspective. So his creative images are so mesmerizing that I always am dumbstruck and inspired when I see his images. And Creative Nature Photography.net or CNP is a forum which has many senior photographers. There, I upload when anyone or I upload my images. These senior photographers will upload their constructive comments on how I can improve these images. Wow. So I and my father are part of this forum, and CNP is one of the reasons I am growing a lot.
Awesome. So for those of you who are interested, probably you can visit this creativenaturephotography.net. The link is available in the show notes. And I think that is helping Vidyun and his father get a lot of constructive feedback from the seasoned photographers out there. So Vidyun, I have an interesting question. Do you take the prints of all the pictures that you capture, or are there any select pictures?
No, I don't take printouts of images, but the only printouts I've ever taken is of my 3 award-winning images. That's all.
Oh, okay. So that brings me to my next question, which is about the awards. You have won many awards, and which one gave you the most satisfaction?
Okay, so I won 3 international awards, 4. So one and the most popular is Dome Home. It's is an image of a tent spider with the background of an auto rickshaw. So it won me the grand title of Young Wildlife Photographer of the Year 2020. And the same year, I had gotten highly commended award for my image Blue on Green and Red. It was taken in my school campus. It is of a cicad blue butterfly, and it was sitting on a palm leaf, and it has the background of my school ground and many other plants. So I also won a highly commended award in WPY 2021, which was of city signature, which is a signature spider, my favorite spider species, and the background of a building in Bangalore. So that was my first international award, and I also won special mention in Nature in Focus 2023 for my image Gecko's Garage, which is an image taken in Unveiling. It's of a lizard inside a lamp in the hotel.
Oh, okay. So also, can you talk about your love for spiders?
Yes. So mostly, most people don't like spiders for the most insects, animals. So I like spiders. I started liking spiders because of my father. So since he used to capture, photograph spiders, and when he showed me how special they are and how important they are, I also felt fascinated by them, and wanted to like show the world how important they are. So after seeing many spiders, observing their behaviors, and learning a lot more about these spiders, I am now not scared and of spiders, and I love them. Spiders, love them a lot.
That's quite interesting. And let's move forward with them. Where do you see yourself in future? Maybe 10 or 15 years down the line.
Okay. I see myself standing on the glaciers of Antarctica, holding my camera and capturing the endemic species over there. And it's Antarctica just because like whenever anyone tells where and all are present spider species or doesn't matter, most animals, they tell except Antarctica at the end. So I want to go there, photograph the endemic species, and maybe even find a few new species that I will be the first one to capture it. Photograph.
Good one, and that's a great dream. And my blessings and blessings of everyone, including, I mean, blessings of universe will be there with you for sure. It is going to happen. So yeah, I really love that you are dreaming big, and definitely you are going to make it. So Vidyun, we have had an incredible conversation so far, and it's time to add some more excitement to the episode as we dive into a series of intriguing rapid fire questions to spice up the episode. I'm going to kick off the rapid fire round. If you're ready, let's dive in.
Yes.
Okay, nice. Let's get started. The first one is early mornings or late nights for photography.
Early mornings.
Okay. Birds or insects? Which do you find more captivating to photograph?
Insects.
And your favorite non-photography hobby?
Reading.
Okay. And please share more about your favorite capture. You mentioned about the tent spider. Is that the favorite one, or is there anything else?
No, my favorite image was one of the best images I've captured when I started photography. So it's called Sunbay. It's an image of a gecko with a foreground of leaves, and it's sunbathing. So it's a very magical image. And like we have gone to my native scenery, we are exploring a few gardens over there. So after a very exhausting morning, we are going back to our farm. So while going back, my father spotted this gecko. And I am like, I don't want to capture it, I'm very tired. So my father brought the car there, very near to the gecko. I was sitting on the seat of the car and holding my camera through the window and photographing this gecko. So that is one of the reasons why it's my favorite.
And one simple photography tip that you would give to the beginners.
It will be patient.
Nice. And moving to the next bullet. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Uh, it would be invisibility. One, because I can go very close to my subjects without scaring them, and because I can win all the games of hide and seek.
Okay, here comes the last one for the rapid fire. What is one electronic gadget that you like to see or invent yourself?
Mm, I would like a gadget that I would invent. If you should go to school for me, you should act like me, but I would be somewhere else and my robot would be.
So you want a clone for yourself, which will take care of schooling
Yes.
and so that you can roam elsewhere. Interesting, nice. And that's a great rapid fire. Let's flip back to the mainstream. And what's your advice to the aspiring photographers of any age?
I am not. I have not grown so much to give advice, and I am still learning. So I don't want to give any advice.
Any other tips other than being patient? You mentioned okay, you need to have patience, right? Other than that, is there anything else that you would like to give?
Don't care about your equipment. You can capture with any basic equipment.
I loved it.
And
all the yeah, go ahead,
and
continue.
all the three international award-winning images, and my father ones also, were taken in the most basic camera that we have, the Nikon D5000 at 85 mm, the basic one. So you don't need to care about your equipment.
Yeah. See, this is a great reminder for everyone who wanted to have every resource, every possible resource to get started. And in fact, it resonates with my podcasting journey as well. I think it is worth mentioning here. Like when I started my podcasting journey initially, we started recording the episodes in the month of April 2020. And at that time, I used to record all the episodes on my Samsung mobile phone with a basic headset. And right now, I'm using Samsung Q2U, a condenser mic which is used by professionals. But I did not wait to buy this particular thing before I got started. And now here I am at 375th episode in English. And other than that, I launched about 68 episodes in Telugu and about 34 episodes in Hindi. And there is no looking back. Likewise, Vidyun has also started with some basic camera. And of course, he has been upgrading, but he did not wait for the perfect one to arrive. So that is how we have to be passionate about whenever we wanted to take something forward. Don't wait for every possible resource. Manage with what you have and get started because getting started is the key. If you get started, you will get going. As simple as it. All right. So, Vidyun, how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice platform? Is this your first podcast?
Yes, it is my first podcast.
Okay. And how did you like it?
I feel very happy to be here, and always a pleasure to be
there. Nice. And do you recommend the Guiding Voice to people to watch or listen?
Yes, I would recommend it.
Okay. Have you listened to any of the episodes?
Yes, I have.
Okay. What did you like the most?
I like the questions and the answers and how inspiring and how much you can learn from these answers and questions.
All right. Thank you. And really appreciate you taking time for joining us today and sharing all the valuable insights related to photography and about your passion. And I wish you all the very best. And again, as I said earlier, universe will conspire to help you in every possible way to achieve your dreams. And I would welcome you back once you capture those endemic species out there at Antarctica. You should come back and share your experience at the Guiding Voice platform.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So, friends, that was our episode with Vidyun R Hebbar. He's the youngest speaker on the Guiding Voice platform, and this is a perfect timing to host him on our biggest milestone, 375th. All right. So, before we jump into the trivia section, here's a quick request. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes. And if you have enjoyed this conversation, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues or family members who would also like the Guiding Voice. Please spread the knowledge and help others also grow like you. Your support means a lot and it helps us create more content for you and our community. Thank you so much for your support and let's learn together on this journey and continue the journey forever. All right, now let's hop into the trivia segment. So, After having an enchanting conversation about photography with Vidyun, I thought I would give you history about photography. The first photograph, the world's first photograph known as the view from the window at Legras was taken by Joseph Nicaphore Nicep in 1826 using a process called heliography. And smile, you're on camera. The concept of the modern camera was inspired by the camera obscura, a device that projected an image onto a surface. And the term camera actually comes from the Latin word for chamber or room. And Kodak's influence, the word Kodak was made up by George Eastman, the founder of Eastman Kodak Company, because he thought it sounded unique and would be easily recognizable. Next fact is about moon photography. The famous footprint photo of astronaut Buzz Aldrin on the moon was taken by Neil Armstrong, making Aldrin the first person to be photographed on the moon. And next one is the world's most expensive photo. The photograph titled Reen 2 by Andreas Gursky was sold for a whopping $4.3 million, making it the most expensive photograph ever sold at auction. And the selfie revolution, actually the first recorded selfie was taken in not in 2000s or not in the 21st century or 20th century, but in the 19th century itself. It was taken in 1839 by Robert Cornelius, an American pioneer in photography, and he set up his camera and then ran into the frame to take a picture of himself. Interesting, isn't it? So folks, if you have any interesting facts about the photography, or if you know any other young achiever, please introduce them to me or comment their story on YouTube. In case if you have found this episode on social media, leave a comment there and I would be happy to review those. That's it for today's episode, and thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome growing community. Folks, we would love to hear from you. Please share your ideas and feedback through our social media or email. And our email is theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. Let's create content that resonates with you. I'm your host Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life but also your career. Stay connected as we journey together, and until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember, the future holds great things, which means the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another